I test out new gear, I look for uni, and I grab a couple other things in aquarium-like conditions out on my local shores. Come with me as we prepare for a massive tuna party the next day.
I'm taking out my new dive mask today, the Gull Vader. I reviewed this on my channel, but doing the conversion, and I have the Gull stable on here as well. The full set, nice and bright, so dive buddies can't miss me. Dive buddy K is rocking the Gull Luvos. Duh, it's right here. Luvos, very nice. Slightly different designs, color obviously, but excited to try them out. And yes, I am trying out this Orca Torch D570 as a laser pointer, and of course is a light. So let's go grab some bugs, grab some uni. Let's go.
It was an absolutely beautiful day to dive, and you'll find out soon enough what we're talking about. Surf was about a foot, non-existent pretty much. Wind was also almost non-existent. Water temps were relatively warm, and the first thing we see right when we jump in the water is a beautiful cabezon. I didn't bring my spear gun with me, so I ended up just getting some pretty cool shots of this fish. This is a pretty nice size one. You can see it's beautiful coloration. It's an ambush predator, and yeah, it was just laying there. I got to try and use the Orca Torch D570 with the green laser pointer as well to spot it from above, which was really cool. But yeah, starting off fantastic because the surf was so non-existent pretty much. We were able to get into places that we normally wouldn't risk going into. When I say that, I mean like closer to shore, closer to cliff sides, because typically you're just getting pelted by waves. But today, as you can see, visibility was absolutely amazing. There's this beautiful leopard shark. This area that we are in typically houses quite a bit of these, but there's a small juvenile there. Just beautiful conditions, like 25-foot plus viz, easy. And here's Dive Buddy K checking out some holes. Today we are going primarily for sea urchin, for uni, and lobster as their secondary. And you'll see later in the video, I do grab something else as well, but those two are the primarily the sea urchin, because the next day there we have a massive tuna party planned. And if you watch that video, it was an absolute blast. And if you haven't watched I think it's like a video or two before this one, it's definitely worth a watch in my opinion. I grabbed a 166-pound bluefin tuna. But yeah, today it was just an aquarium day. Beautiful conditions. My buddy Seal here checking us out, having a good time. His buddies, yep, there he goes. And they're off. In this video, yeah, it's really going to be a lot of these clips like this. I'm going to do a different style for this one because I think it deserves it. Just enjoying the marine life, just seeing obviously a ton of life here, and visibility just makes you want to stay out there forever. It's so beautiful, regardless if you catch something or not. It's just amazing to be out there when conditions are like this. So just enjoy. We're going for lobster as well, but these are a bunch of short ones. This one, I'm gonna let him go. And just a reminder, spiny lobster season is still open. Make sure to fill out your lobster cards prior to your dive. Obviously, you're not going to fill out how many you harvested just yet, but you still needs to be 3¼ inch for the carapace length, and you're limited 7 per day. Here, I'm going after this lobster on the left-hand side. You'll see soon enough. Kiska spotted this. My dive buddy K spotted this from the top, and I go for it, and I just miss. And what I'm doing here is looking over the rock to see if it swam away. Maybe there's a hole at the end behind this rock. No luck. He goes down to double check, but it's too far deep in there. We're not getting it this time around. That one was a lot easier, and I grabbed this one specifically. It's a smaller one, but this one, while my dive buddy K was going for some lobsters in a hole, that one actually ended up hitting him in the face on the way out. So I thought it'd be funny to have him revisit the buddy he disturbed. Now we got some sea urchin in the bag, and what I'm doing here is my setup is using a float. I have my dive flag and I have an anchor attached to that float. So what we're doing is anchoring that float in the vicinity of where we plan on diving. I grab some uni, sea urchin, and put it in there, and so we don't have to keep it in our dive bag, our waist dive bag, like you see my dive buddy K has, to not weigh us down or inconvenience us too much. That's a nice one, and we start collecting. Spot a nice one here. And what I'm doing, yes, the spines are quite sharp. They can break apart in your hand if you get too rough with it. My gloves are lined. They're Dyneema lined with, it's not Kevlar, but like a tougher coating. So if you are, I would say a way to describe it is using your grip progressively. So what you're doing is trying to get a relatively comfortable grip around the sea urchin or underneath it. And instead of trying to rip it out straight away, you apply a little bit of pressure. If your fingers don't feel a poke or anything, then you start applying a little bit more pressure. And then once you feel like, okay, if I keep applying pressure, my fingers should be okay from not getting poked, then apply the full pressure to pull it off. I'm not sure if you caught that, but I actually grabbed a California sea cucumber to harvest and try. So if you're familiar with a Korean street food dish called hesam, essentially it's raw sea cucumber sliced thin, typically served with chojang, or like it's a spicy sweet sauce, or it's just eaten just like that. I wanted to try that out, and stick around to the end of the video to find out why you shouldn't do that with the California sea cucumber. But I am harvesting them. They are edible, but it's advised that you do the muscular tissue inside of the sea cucumber instead of the whole thing. So I'll go into detail later in the video when I'm preparing it, but just want to let y'all know you can take them if you'd like, but just the muscular tissue you want to eat.
How's your goggles? Goggles are really good. No fogging, so make sure to burn them. Use toothpaste, no burning of the eyes. Pretty awesome. This wetsuit's a little tight around the neck and the openings, like the ankles, but I'll let you know later how I feel. But the goggles, great. Pretty good. No fogging.
Yeah, I forgot to mention right when we started the dive, I'm trying out a lot of new gear today, which is not what I typically like to do, but let's just rip the band-aid off. I'm trying new goggles or masks. This is the Gull Vader I've had for a little bit, but I haven't taken it out yet. In preparation for the dive, I burned the protective coating off the lenses, and I also scrubbed some toothpaste inside, cleaned it out. And what that does is you reduce the likelihood of fogging, which is incredibly annoying, especially when you're diving. And I would imagine even more so if you're scuba diving. I'll have a video covering how to do that, why you should do that in greater detail, but I am trying out the Gull Vader mask, and it's awesome. Fits my face really well. I'm sure you noticed, but a nice tint on it. And the wetsuit fits well, except the openings are a little tight. But back to the ocean and its amazing beauty. These are zebra perch, and I found this spot perched up on a rock, and I'm just gonna let nature do its thing because it's just beautiful. I was just sitting here just enjoying the free show. Wasn't that beautiful? Well, I'm back diving, and I thought this was a cool view to share in regards to the snorkel and how it works. This is the Gull stable, and if you don't know what it is, I bet you've heard of the Rife stable, and it's actually produced by Gull. Rife white labels it, but it's one of my favorite snorkels. Clears water really well, and it's a little more draggy than a J, but it's worth the trade-off in my opinion. But I wanted to call out one thing. You notice when I dive, I don't have the snorkel in my mouth when I'm under the water. And one of the reasons is, God forbid, if you were to black out, your tongue and your mouth actually acts as a mechanism to protect your lungs from getting flooded with water. If you have that snorkel in your mouth, there is a higher chance of water flooding into your lungs. So that is one of the many reasons why you should dive without a snorkel in your mouth.
So I lost my dive light, and lo and behold, Dive Buddy K always finds my stuff. I don't even know when I lost it, but he found it. The orchid torch is safe. Lives another day. Where'd you find it?
I think you're attacking some uni, so I looked around and it was there.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's all black too. There's no like markers or anything.
It's a needle in a haystack.
Thank you.
Yep. Come back.
Thank you.
Such an amazing day. Stick around to the end of the video if you want to see processing uni and also the sea cucumber. But customary to the channel, we do have some dive stats here. 30 feet with being the deepest, 1 minute 2 seconds the longest dive time. And here's some other stats if you are curious. But stick around and see how we process uni. All right, guys, just wrapped up. Look at this monster uni. We have a good chunk of him. Definitely didn't max out. It's 35 per person per day, and we're definitely not there. But we have enough for our party. Some big boys in here. Alrighty, today, soon after the dive, we're gonna now process the uni. What we're gonna do is essentially open these up, take out the gonads. I'm gonna try to clean it off as best I can on this tray. And then this is water and some salt. This is gonna hold the gonads until we could go back inside, dry them off a little bit, and then put them over ice on the fridge, not directly over ice, but next to it so it can stay nice and cool until service tomorrow. These guys are still kicking, so let's start work. So this is a tool that my dive buddy Kay got me from Japan, specifically made to open up sea urchin like this. So you just jab it in, and then you pull together, and then this opens up the uni. So works pretty well. You can also use 2 spoons and facing the opposite way from each other. Create a point, and then push them together, create the same effect. Not my best opening, not very centered, but let's see the yield. This is the first one. Fluorescent solution is going last. Try to take out the beak. Clean this up later. Use my little spoon. You can use a regular spoon too. I found the kind of dessert spoon size works best to get inside and pull that what we want out, which is that right there. Yes. Try to keep most of the gunk inside, and then just take out the roe. That's it. Next one. Nice crack. Oh, this one looks really good. See if we can get this last one whole. You might be wondering why I'm wearing gloves. The residue on the sea urchin, they leave a red kind of dye on your hands, and it's really tough to get off. So that's it. That's why. I'll try to take some of this black stuff off. We just want the gonads, the orange bits. We're gonna have to fine tune, take all this stuff off, but if there's any big portions you could take off now, it'll help a ton. Here's the beak of the sea urchin right there. These look really good in this one. Oof, that's a big one. It's a chunky one. Oh, shoot. So you don't want to do. Be very delicate with these. Next. Good. These look really promising on this one. And you're able to limit on this sea urchin 35 a day, which is plenty. So we can separate this easily. Grabbing the uni is the easy part. This is the time-consuming portion. It's the beak. And be very delicate. You might get frustrated. You want to like use force, but it just ruins the meat, the uni. Nice piece. So we'll separate that. Nice clean break. These are looking really good this time. Yeah, sometimes the yield, meaning the amount of gonads or the quality of the gonads, size, firmness, even color, vary quite drastically season by season. All right, this one I'm looking forward to because this one is heavy and it is dense. As you can tell, it's just larger, so let's be firm. All right, let's see what's in the big one. Will it be big gonads or small ones? Looks like they're pretty nice. Okay, they are nice. Thank you. Jesus. Okay, these are pretty big. Just gotta filter out all the gunk. Try to get the big pieces off now. If that worked last time, should be able to. Boom. Oh yeah, these are good. Okay. We have one more in here. Oh yeah, that was a nice one. Came out easy. Will it clean easy? Yes, it will. Very nice. All right, next. All right, there it is. Now we have to clean it up a little bit in our solution and rinse this off very nicely. Now we're back in the house and our uni is sitting in that saltwater brine. And what I'm doing here is trying to use the water from the sink to rinse off any of the, I don't want to call them impurities, but anything that's not the uni. And you want to be very, very delicate. You don't want the water going too hard, not too much water pressure. If not, it's going to break. So you want to be very, very delicate. What I do is I put it in the bowl at first, but you'll see later on that I actually just put it straight on the paper towel to dry out as much as possible and absorb all that water I used to clean it off. And for those of you watching, I'm sure you're asking yourself, why is uni so expensive? It seems so relatively easy to get. And generally speaking, I would say I agree with you. In Southern California and across the California coast, it's not too difficult to find sea urchin that are, relatively large and you could get a decent yield out of. However, it's the labor. It's very time consuming. You can't rush it too much. I've said this multiple times, but it takes a lot of time to process. Obviously, I'm not doing it in the most professional way. I don't have the solution that they use in commercial distributors, but generally speaking, you're gonna follow some process like this, and it just takes a lot of time, and you have to be very, very delicate. And here I go, I'm plating the uni now, and what we're gonna use this for is a massive bluefin tuna party. I have that video up already, so if you want to watch that video, if you haven't already, it's super epic. I buy 166 pound bluefin tuna, but it was such an awesome party. It was for a New Year's party, but check that out. But this is going to be on top of some of the sushi. Check out that golden tray of goodness right there. This is only half, but in the video I did mention sea cucumber, and I did make a short, and I think it explains it pretty well, so I'm gonna reuse it. If you've watched it already, I apologize, but I do consume California sea cucumber here. You could get pretty sick eating this raw, and yeah, I still tried it. I'm eating raw sea cucumber. Before anyone jumps to conclusions, I've actually eaten raw sea cucumber in Korea called hesam, and it's one of my favorite dishes. The Korean version uses a specific species called Apostacopus japonicus, pretty much meaning Japanese sea cucumber. That's the one you see sliced and eaten fresh as a street food, crunchy texture, clean ocean flavor. And here's why that version is safer to eat raw. First, it's a different species with different biology. The Korean version feeds differently and doesn't process as much sediment, which means it generally carries lower bacterial load in the body walls compared to other sea cucumbers. Second, it comes from colder, cleaner water, and in many cases, it's farmed or harvested from tightly regulated zones that reduces exposure to runoff, sewage, and warm water bacteria. Now, what I'm holding here in California is something completely different. Somewhat. This is the California sea cucumber, scientifically known as Parasticopus californicus. This species is a deposit feeder. It lives on the ocean floor and processes sediment, which means bacteria and microbes can exist throughout the tissue, not just in the organs. I removed the organs, cleaned it thoroughly, and salt washed it and ate it immediately as it was alive. And no, I didn't get sick, but that doesn't make it safe to eat raw. It's not poisonous, it just carries a higher bacterial and parasite risk, even when handled carefully. That's why in California, sea cucumbers are traditionally cooked or dried, not eaten raw like the Korean version. So if you want the Korean style street food experience, don't do it like I did. So recap, uni is good, sea cucumber, you can eat the mussels inside and fillet it off the skin, but not the whole thing, not recommended. But here's our spread from the party. Again, that video is out. And here is that uni that we harvested, used on top of some otoro. So hope you enjoyed this video. Had a great time in the water, amazing conditions, and I will see you on the next one.